You're now live on Njenje Media TV, and for the viewers, for the world, we have here Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor, who is the lead counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Barrister, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Mazi.
Okay, let's get the ball rolling. Barrister, can you tell us what actually happened in the court today? We are aware that your client did not appear in the court today. Why?
Okay. Let me start from what transpired in court on 29th of this month, or last month. You are aware that upon his abduction in Kenya and consequent extraordinary rendition to Nigeria, he was brought to court on the 29th day of June 2021. And that was done without reference to me and also to my fellow colleagues for him, defending him in court. It was a state charge. So, and the matter was consequently adjourned to today for commencement of, for conclusion of hearing. Because we had before now expected that that in line with the manner they are boasting about amendment of charge, introducing new charges like terrorism, kidnapping, banditry, and the other, and they must have amended the charge before today. So, and we also came to realize today that all those things are mere speculations over the media. Because no charge was amended, and that also reaffirmed our belief. So I believe that our client is on a political trial. So today in court, he was not brought to court, and we are in court prepared for the trial to go. Though before now, we have an application before the court by requesting that he should be transferred to correctional center to grant easy access to lawyers, relatives who actually want to see him, and also to enable us prepare for the defense along with him. So that application was filed on the 14th of this month, 14th day of July, and served on the prosecution, being the federal government on the same day. And they filed a response 2 days after, not for 8 hours after being served with the rest for our application. They filed a counter affidavit and deliberately withheld it from being served upon the defense team. And only this morning we ambushed with the counter affidavit. So ordinarily, these are issues that have been taking time to address in court today. But because of the fact that, first of all, the court made a reservation that she was actually in court today because he has already given this date. And at the point he was given this date, you never expected that it wasn't within the contemplation that to forward a vacation. So, and as such, she can't delve into the substantive matter or take an application because that has to be done through fiat. So there's a fiat by the CJ in line with the procedure of the Federal Court, because today has been declared as commencement date for vacation. But nevertheless, we were able to take to express our concerns and also register our grievances to the court about what transpired and lost a young date. Then they brought into court without reference to us, and particularly me, because the prosecution, they have all my details. So, and they never served us any, notified us about bringing him to court. So, and we are worried that he wasn't brought to court today. And it's also when rumors were flying around yesterday that he has been transferred to an unknown destination from Abuja. So I insisted on a law to also inquire from the prosecution where, as he was about and well-being, because we saw him last week. So at the end of the submissions, the court decided to see the lawyers in chambers at the end of the proceeding. Now saying we will discuss about the other things affecting his welfare, and also affecting seeing him, our constraint is seeing him, and the visit to him, and also and his current state. But that should be done outside the court, should be done in the chambers.
Now,
so, and that's the result, because the courts made another chambers directing not all restricted access to him by lawyers and also people who are known to him, and give dates and missing dates for us to see them. So it's no longer at the pleasure of the DSS. So usually you have to apply, and they'll give you time to see him. So this time around, the court has given an order as to when time to see him within the week. Thank you.
So I do understand that the court gave an order for him to be seen Mondays and Thursdays. Is that correct?
Sure.
Okay. Now, now that we are talking online, we're being watched by thousands of people globally. Now, there is a popping question on my screen, which is a reaffirmation from you that your client is well and alive.
Yeah, I can confirm to the world now, because I made some discrete findings. I made a confirmation from relevant authority. I don't want to be put there to mention names
Sure.
of the.
Sure.
But he's in Abuja and he's fine. So, and then I will see him next 48 hours. He's okay.
So
I've already made it known to the public and the world by pages that they should disregard the rumors that he has been sent out of Abuja. So I will confirm that he's okay. So I'll see him within 48 hours.
Okay. So, I mean, within the next 48 hours, the worst case scenario will be that by Thursday you will see him, assuming Nigeria becomes what it is, but at least by legal pronunciations, Thursday is a date that the court gave that unrestricted access to him, right? So,
Sure.
okay. Now, is there anything, what will happen between now and the 21st of October? Why is it that the court was unable to get a date that is slightly closer? Why, like almost 2 months ahead of time?
First of all, our vacation starts today. Federal court vacation starts today.
And how long is normally the vacation?
And it will probably be within the month of September 18 or thereabout. So if you are privy to what happened in court, inside the court, I insisted that the court should give us a date in September. And the court was of the view that if I give you a date in September, what about if I didn't see it? Yeah, right? Because obviously maybe you have other engagement, other what they call schedule after vacation. No, usually after vacation, the federal court will go on conference and whatnot. So I don't know. So the court said they want to give me a clear the court city. However, the court also suggests assured us that he's not adverse to taking this matter during this vacation. If you can get his fiat from CJ directing her to proceed in that regard. So I have started taking that step. So once fiat is granted the law to proceed with hearing during this vacation, then we can proceed. So we have done the letter today, and by tomorrow we'll submit it. We'll conclude very late. We're submitting tomorrow. Requesting for CJ fiat to enable my law to control the trial. So once that is done, the date will be abridged so the court can clear this matter during this vacation. Otherwise, the matter will come up on 21st of October, because that's the last day the court will be available to hear the substantive suit.
So what is the probability that the CJ would actually grant such a request for that to be brought forward?
The point that it is, because it's now subject to the court's discretion, confidence, and the courts affected had actually expressed her willingness, her availability to take this matter during vacation. So I don't think there will be any impediment on the part of my Lord Honorable CJ to either not to refuse their application, because the court who is in of the matter has expressed willingness to take this matter during vacation. So if the court was not willing to take this application, this matter during the vacation, then it will be an important factor to consider by the CJ at the point of approving or otherwise of application. But in this case, we have the mandate of the court to do the application, and in our application it was content to, it was mentioned in our application that my Lord Honorable Justice Nyako is disposed to hear this application, this matter during the vacation. So that shouldn't be, that makes the approval very easy in circumstance.
Okay. Are you of the opinion that, like in the case as it were in 2006, does it seem to you that the state prosecutor is not in any way, shape, or form ready for this case?
The point that they have not been ready for this case. And it is more so when this case, as you are fully aware today, has developed so many wings. What was before the court in 2017, we saw the same thing before the court today. In 2017, 2015, we have a client who was abducted in Lagos on October 14th, 2015, brought to Abuja on that same day, I ran a magistrate court season 2 on 16th. I was granted bail the same day. Then DSS refused to comply with the order granting him bail. He took him to Federal High Court. On the 19th of December, the Federal High Court granted him bail unconditionally. Those orders were all flouted by the detention authority. So then, instead, they filed on the 23rd of December 2015. They filed 11-count charge against him before the Federal High Court. Then, after looking at the proof of evidence attached to the charge, supporting the charge, indictment, and we of the view that this proof of evidence cannot sustain the bogus allegations against him as contained in the charge, we file an application challenging the entire charge, urging the court to dismiss them. So, and the court, in his wisdom, struck out 8-count charge of 11-count charge. So, and made a remark in the ruling that even the 3-count charge remaining, that proof of evidence still remaining cannot sustain the charge. But since prosecutors say they have a witness to bring from Lagos or whatever they call it, that you want to hear them, and consequently admitted him on bail. He was granted bail on the 25th of April 2017 after being detained for over 2 years in custody. Then adjourned the matter for trial. Adjourned the matter to 17th of October 2017 for trial. In between the period he was awaiting for the trial, the Nigerian government, the state government prosecuting him in the same court, then sent their soldiers to Afaruku Ibeku on the 14th of September 2017. And during this bloody invasion, the war that was taken to his house, over 28 persons were murdered in his home. Animals slaughtered, everywhere damaged, all in a bid to assassinate him. Now, this is a person who is under the protection of the court. This is a person who was granted bail by the court. This is a person who had announced to the world that he would be coming to the court on October 17, 2017, in the company of about 2 million fans. And then a person who had undergone what they call pre-trial conference, pre-trial briefing, preparing for the trial coming up on 17th October. Now, because they know that they have no case against him, they can't establish that charge against him. What they did was to, are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. That was why they took the one to his house to assassinate him. Now, that changed the narrative entirely. What we did was to come to court and requested the court to investigate the intervening event that led to his appearance. And also urged the court to look at what happened to his house to him. This is a person who was granted by the court, who ordinarily supposed to be under the protection of the court. Why was his home invaded in the manner they did? In the bid to kill him. So this is a case, we have about 3 different applications before the court, including the one where we fight to set aside the revocation of his bail, all are pending before the court. Now, today, we have a British citizen who was abducted in Kenya on 19th of June 2021, and who, in gross violation of international protocols and United Nations conventions, fully signed, an agreement fully signed by Nigeria in 2021, was brought in here through a southern edition. So this has raised serious concern before the international community. So I have maintained series of actions against the Kenyan, against Nigeria, against also the British government before the international community today. So because this is certainly, we're not talking about political trial going on here, because all of us know that Nnamdi Kanu is a political prisoner. And today, we're not talking about trial because he has committed offense to law. So otherwise, I should have been served with a charge today. I should have been served with a charge as for the intelligence, or they bring it to court and serve us with a charge of what they call, of the amended or allegation against him. So these are issues now. These are the legs the case has developed today.
So for everyone that is watching us globally to understand what you just said, what you're saying is that on the 29th of June, when he was brought to the court, you were not, as the lead legal counsel, you were not given any charge as to what he's been charged of. And today, again, appearing...
I was not informed.
Yes. Okay.
He was brought in here. He was smuggled in here on the 27th day of June, 2021. Right? Now, ordinarily, the prosecutor is not under any form of illusion as to the identity of the person who is the substantive counsel in the suit, in the case. You should have informed me that I'm taking him to court on Tuesday, midnight. So I was not informed. You know what I'm saying? And it's fundamental. And in the process, he wasn't allowed to address the court. And which is strange under the practice. It's very strange. Allowing a client to address the court in the absence of his lawyer.
And there was nobody to ascertain at the point he was made to address the courts his mental faculty at that point, if it was induced or anything.
Nobody was to ascertain what his
state of mind.
Was meant to address the court. It was asked to address the court.
Okay. So now there is this school of thought that's been going around that since the case appears more political than legal, that the solution would eventually become political as well, or rather the resolution. What's your take on such?
But I've said it in several of my media interviews that detaining Nnamdi Kanu where he is, keeping him in solitary confinement can never solve the problem. It can never solve the problem. Because I've asked this government a question. Since the agitation for this, for Biafra independence, have you been able to engage these people? What are your grievances? What are you talking about? What are you complaining about? The answer is no. For one day. But we are fully aware that at the early stage of this administration, we have a department, we have a kind of a ministry, can I call it, they call it special advisor, presidential advisor to they call it presidential committee on dialogue with Boko Haram. We have it in this government. We have it. So a committee was set up to dialogue with Boko Haram. No terrorist. So why haven't they set up a committee to dialogue with people who are very agitating? I get what I'm saying.
Well,
the committee has not been set up. They don't even fit to set up a committee to agitate with people who are very agitating for their rights. They don't understand the law. Rather, we're sending soldiers, sending police, sending also ammunition down to East to be killing people. As I speak to you today, at this moment, we have not less than 3,000 innocent civilians arrested from all corners of the southeast today, being detained in Abuja and other places across the states. Today, because they are merely agitating. Today, they're still in custody.
Okay, so I would shortly let you go, but before I do that, there were people we saw today in front of that court. They were in solidarity to to the cause, or obviously to the upcoming case. Now, at some point, we saw that they were arrested. Are you aware if they are still in detention, or have they been released, or is there anything you're doing to get them out?
I've already sent a message across to the security agents to list all persons arrested today. I learned some have released, and I've sent some. So I've sent a message across to them, and we're going to follow it up. And I'm following up already.
Because I am aware. That
the fact is clear. The fact is clear. Let me tell you the fact of the issue. The fact of the matter is clear. People have the constitutional right to be in court and observe proceedings of the court. And these guys have never in any manner conducted themselves in a manner that suggests they're violent. I get what I'm saying? So you have no right powers to restrict people from coming to court. What you should be insisting on is orderliness and civility in their conduct. And that's all. You can't ask people to come to court. Access to court cannot be inhibited in any manner. It's a right to be in court, even when the matters don't affect them in the first place. So that these guys who are here to ensure, to observe proceedings of court, to ensure that their leader is given fair trial and fair hearing. And they were not there with any force arm. So that's what I'm complaining about. Arresting innocent civilians. We have criminals there who are daily killing people in the bush. We have husband there, we have Boko Haram there, we have notorious criminals over there. We have Boko Haram there. They've not been arrested. Now they are negotiating with the bandits and what they call it, or whatever they call it. So these are civilians who are in court to observe proceedings of the court. And they're not violent. They were peaceful in their conduct. So these are things we complain about. So in the system, in Nigerian democratic system, we have two sets of laws applicable to these different people. One applicable to the north, the one applicable to the south is a different one altogether. So it's very pathetic indeed. So I'm using this opportunity also to call on the security agents, whether SSS, police, soldiers, without further ado, release all persons arrested today in connection with this case, who were there in court to share up their leader who was being brought to court today.
Okay. So from what we do not have their details aside persons well known like Mazen Namdi Rebu, whom we have already spoken about 3-4 hours ago, and Sore, who were already, both of them already released. Now the ladies, there was this lady on the pink that we saw singing eventually, DPO or whatever, I think it's Hassan, instructed his men to come with truck, and they were taken away, all of them taken away. So I think, so what you're assuring the world watching now is that, by tomorrow or thereabout, you will ensure that all those individuals are let off the hook.
If they're not released within by today or tomorrow, I'll make it public.
Okay.
Also make their names public too, that have not been released. So I've already applied to the security agents to release those arrested today.
Okay.
It's unheard of, arresting people around the court premises.
I will be following up. I will give you 48 hours to get more information on that, and I will be following up on that to ensure that they regain their freedom. Now, my next question to you is this simple. Before now, there is this belief that based on some incendiary comments regarding to the Igbo elders and Ohaneze Igbo in particular, that it appears that some veins somewhat or rather were strained. But we saw it today in the court. I believe you saw them as well. We saw our father, Chief Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezife, the former governor of Anambra State, Okwadiki Ibuku. And we also saw Chief Godi Owazurike, the former presidential aspirant of Ohanaeze and Igbo. And both of them came into that court as Ohanaeze delegates. So seeing them and seeing that Ohanaeze finally has sent delegates to observe what and how the trial is going, what's your take and what do you have to say to the world regarding the development?
Well, the fact is that we all from the Southeast is fully aware of our predicament today. And arresting everybody will have agreed with me, mostly have agreed with me that arresting Nnamdi Kanu is not solving the problem. At all, I cannot solve the problem. So, and what you refer to as a sincere comment is what I may not in the circumstance on that kind of admit that it existed because it depends on the manner, it depends on the situation at hand. You find yourself at the point the whatever comment was made, what led to it. So, but however, I must commend them for being there. I was notified about their coming before now, and they understand that Nnamdi Kanu is their son, and they cannot abandon him. And also, I'm aware that some people are making some contacts, are calling me, trying to see how to come in, how to kind of identify. And I said, no, if you want to identify with Nnamdi Kanu's cause, maybe in the open. You can't do it secretly. So, no matter whoever you are, just like what Ohanaeze did now by sending our father, Dr. Ezife, to be in court today, and I especially called him out today for recognition in court by doing my submissions. So, I insisted that anybody who wants to identify with Nnamdi Kanu's predicament must do it in the open. That's my position, because he's on a selfless service to redeem our lost identity. That's what I'm saying. Until when that fact is appreciated, that's when we understand what the message is sending. Look at today. Yesterday, I got a report from people in Enugu that Fulani spent in Enugu yesterday and I killed many yesterday. It's on record, and maybe if you don't have the clips, I'll send it to you.
I do have the clip. You're talking about Uzuwani, right?
They've resumed hostilities because Nnamdi Kanu is no longer there. So these are things people should learn, and they learn it fast now. So it's time for everybody to come together and join hands to ensure that our own is out as quick as possible. And I can assure you that Nnamdi Kanu will regain his freedom sooner than expected. I've been saying this, and I know what I mean by that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so before I let you go, I mean, obviously, Sunday Boho had his day in court today. I believe you must have probably acquainted yourself regarding the outcome. Now, but without going into details, what I want you to do on a high level, are you able to draw a comparison, or rather a comparative analysis of the case of Igbo and Nnamdi Kanu? Are there any similarities and approach or anything that you can tell us?
Well, the point is that in Igbo's case, we see where people are seriously disposed towards salvaging the image of their own and interest of their own too. Because what's happened in Nnamdi Kanu's case, though there's a stress collaboration, conspiracy at the highest level, I may not be able to mention here, but it's teaching people lesson. People are learning from it, though it's still being litigated upon across the space. So, and the public don't want to make similar mistakes. Because it's one thing for you to accuse, I've been saying this, and another thing for you to establish.
Exactly.
When you level allegations as bogus as it may be against somebody, people, and before you know it, the person will be convicted over the media. That's the problem we're having now. You have committed murder, have committed this, have committed kidnapping. Come to the tell have committed those offenses, you run away. That's the problem. So now, as of today, the federal government has never filed any charge against Igbo in airport. And tell me how we have a mass extradition proceedings if there's no pending charge against him? The answer is no. So that's what I'm telling you. So before you know it, like before now, the state has already granted a conference in several of their press briefings that they were today in next Kanu sitting that will be seeing a case of murder, case of kidnapping, banditry, and whatnot. So, and that has been sold off to people uninformed. Has been sold off to people uninformed. So now people are believe, oh, Kanu has committed offense of murder, offense of terrorism, offense of this and that. But there was no charge in court today for us to see. There was no such charge in court today for us to see. So they are good at convicting people on the pages of this and media and their social media platforms. And people will believe it and start acting upon the false road. So some didn't apply to Igbo because they want the grant to ensure that the right thing is done. Had it been I got information about the Kanu action on 19th of June, so nothing would have happened. Of course, we would have brought to this country. We insist. We would have done it. We would have done it. We would have brought to this country in the manner that they did. So, but they did everything secretly in collaboration with their sister agents from Nigeria. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. That is a very fine place to leave it. I will say thank you for all that you do, and we say stay well. You know, I appreciate your time with me. Thank you very much once more. This is Njenje TV. Thank you very much. Yeah.